Well, hello there once again, everyone. Welcome to another flight. So we are set here in Seattle, Tacoma, and we're just about to commence our journey to Taipei, Taoyuan. This is part three of the flights that I've been doing the past day or two. So we started off actually from Taipei, flying to Ontario. That didn't quite make it on stream due to technical errors. It's been about a month since I last streamed, um, so it was a learning experiment, let's call it, a learning exercise. So we're here now. Everything's great. This morning we did a flight from Ontario because we had the scenery bought and loaded, and we flew to El Paso in Texas. So we're back here again. This is just another fresh, oopsie, just another fresh scenery that I have got. It's the MK Studios version of Seattle. I haven't had a chance to try it out yet. I just downloaded the GSX profile, which didn't seem to work too well as it was setting up the flight. So I've kind of just slewed myself around and made things fit. Um, Quite excited to give it a go. It's going to be some of these desktop audio because it can be quite loud. Um, yeah, so Airbus A350 MK Studio Seattle. We are also trying out something. I got a little bit distracted, carried away. We're trying out a new DLSS version that came out. Graphics drivers have been updated, um, and hopefully a lot of things have been going on in the background to make it work. This flight's also going to be commenced and done in VR. So we're just going through now the initial planning and preparation phases of the flight. There are a few things that are a little bit easier to do not in VR. So the initial sort of admin tasks of getting your flight plane ready, doing a briefing, all of those stuff are still best left, in my personal opinion, outside VR. Obviously, this is a long flight. We're not going to be in VR for all of it, and we are not going to be sitting around for a lot of it as well. This is more of a depart, and we'll come back and do the rest. Perhaps you'll be able to see the landing a few hours later. So let me show you here what the plan is and and how we're going to go ahead and get it. We can just continue enjoying the aircraft there, or you know what? Better yet, it's cold in Seattle. Um, why don't we make our way inside? Let's get to the flight deck and let's be nice and warm. So this is quite familiar to a lot of you. I think I most probably featured this already a couple times on this channel. This is the Airbus A350 from iniBuilds, and we are using the China Airlines livery. In fact, I don't know if you can see it, but that one up there, uh, let me bring it this way. Yeah, that one there is the A350-900 that I have purchased also from China Airlines, and it is in fact one of my favorite flights, aircraft. I mean, favorite liveries, favorite aircraft to fly on the sim. I've not picked it up for a month, so it took me a long time to actually load into the gate because it was recompiling the WASM and all that stuff. So we are ready now, and yeah, let's just dive into the planning stage of the flight. Yeah, so let me just show you exactly our routing and what we can look forward to, and then we can work on stuff together. So let me bring that up. There's something new that I've been working on for the channel. So this is essentially a direct feed from my iPad. So you know what it's going to look like as I go through, and it's also going to help me perhaps draw some stuff as I explain it. So our flight today from Seattle. I don't know if this actually makes any circles. No, but you can't see where I'm clicking. But we depart Seattle, sort of heading northwest. We'll follow the Rocky Mountains all the way up towards Anchorage. They will cross Alaska. We'll head down south. I think it's called the Bering Sea. I might be wrong. But somewhere around here is where we turn heading south. We'll pass the corner of Kamchatka, which was one of the better videos I've done. I did an A320 adventure in the Russian Far East. We'll come down that way into past Japan, and we'll fly over the Tokyo metro area and over the I think it's either the Yellow Sea or the East China Sea. I'm not sure which one. But then we're going to go across the sea, finally to an arrival in Taipei, Taoyuan. How long is this going to take? Well, decent amount of time. Let's take a look at the sim brief OFP, and we can make some notes here as well if we're required to. There we go. So let me highlight some of the key stuff that I like to highlight. I'm a huge fan of highlighting stuff. There's this. So trip time, 12 hours and 55 minutes. Oopsie. Trip time is 12 hours and 55 minutes. How do I? Yeah. We're going from Seattle to Taipei on an Airbus A350-9. And that's the scheduled time of departure. And that's when we expect to arrive into Taipei. We're using a cost index of 71. As you can see, this is quite interesting here. The ground distance and air distance. Obviously, we're covering a little bit more air distance than we are ground distance, which implies that we have probably a decent amount of headwind, which makes sense. On average, it's about 60 knots on our head. 12 hours, 55 minutes flight time. We're using 30 minutes found reserve fuel. There's no extra fuel required for the flight, and overall that's about 93 tons. We're going to go ahead and say 93.1. I'll sign that later. Yeah, those are the times. So it's 11:45, departing airborne at 05. So we have, in fact, not too long. I think about 15 minutes before we need to get into the sky. I don't think that's entirely going to happen. Boarding has started, and we're going to blame the de-icing procedures and all that stuff. That's primarily what you need to know about the flight. I'm also using BeyondATC, so it's going to be helpful, and we'll come up with a few we'll come up with a few talking points as we go along. So let me just dunk this away, and let's get into the nitty-gritty of setting the aircraft up for departure. So obviously the nav data now needs to be updated, which I have not done for a while. I need to figure out how that works. Third-party options. I don't need that. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead, open that browser quickly, and hopefully you don't see any of that. I should definitely take my cyber safety a little bit more seriously. I'm not saying I have all my passwords the same, but maybe a few more than I would have liked. Good, so the account is relinked, and let's update my nav data. I remember there was a bit of a struggle with this with the Sim Update 4, so the last time I was streaming properly was Sim Update 4. Obviously that's all changed now. Nav data is downloaded. Yeah, let's hide all that stuff. Whoopsie. As you can see, I'm not an actual simmer, so nav data is downloaded, and then what now? Does it not go automatically, or Navigraph nav data updated? Yeah, that's what I hope for. Real fast, okay. Maybe if I go back to the initial reference page, maybe yeah, good. So we have a new nav data. Oh no, we still don't. Oh no, we do. Sorry, it's all 21st of Jan. Oh, in my head, I'm already in February. This year is just flying by already, and it's only been what, 3 days? Good. So we'll just need to also make sure that all of this is still, yeah, that seems to be in order. And I'm gonna go ahead and request the flight plan from the company. if that works. Let's see, flight ops plan. I don't think I've actually downloaded anything. In fact, I'm starting to forget a lot of stuff. Oh no, that's here. Receive the company flight plan. Let's go ahead and insert that. Check database cycle. Yeah, it's fine. 24, yeah, it's all good. Preliminary pre-flight, nav's okay. Let's take a look at the oil quantity. Oxygen is fine. The oil quantity needs to be checked. So let's go ahead and do that. Engines. Nothing here. Obviously they're not powered yet, so we don't actually know the quantity yet, but we'll take a look at the tech log page and that should tell us that everything is, well, that should hopefully tell us everything's fine. On the maintenance, hydraulics is fine and oil quantity is good. We'll probably have to get a refill of those once we're in Taipei, but for the departure, everything seems like it's going to be in place. All right, what's next? Well, let me point out obviously the obvious mistake that's going on. I still have the Boeing yoke connected, and I'm only just noticing that it's here. We're gonna have to disconnect that before the flight, shortly before we get going, for sure. This is one of the reasons why I decided to use the A350 today, because BeyondATC is supported, which I'm quite excited to do. Oopsie. Click enter there. Notify the ATC. That's some stuff which is not what we're using. How does one notify to ATC? I think it might be KSEA. Okay. DH is received. Ah. Preliminary pre-flight. Sorry, the preliminary load sheet's out here. So 18, yeah, that's the thing. That's alright, within limits, within limits. Mac tow is 28.9, 324 passengers. So we're taking total passengers that we can. I don't know if it's KUSA or KC, but let's try KC and see if that doesn't work. Kilo C, notify. Ah, yeah, positions unavailable. All right, so we'll come back to that if we can. Let's finish the FMC first. Departure. Well, now would be a good time to listen to the ATIS, but I see we don't have the ATIS yet. BeyondATC ATIS. Let's see, the frequency is 180. Let's go ahead and set that up. 1180.
Scattering 1,600. Ceiling 2,900 overcast. Temperature 06. Dew point 04. Altimeter 29690. Landing runway 16 right, 16 left. Departing runways 16 center, 16 left. Advise on initial contact, you have information Oscar.
Okay, looks like we're gonna have to go back and listen to this again.
Information Oscar. 2302. Wind 170 at 16. Gusts 26. Visibility 8. Light rain. Few clouds at 1,100. Scattered 1,600. Ceiling 2,900 overcast. Temperature 06. Dew point 04. Altimeter 29690. Landing runway 16 right, 16 left. Departing runway 16 center, 16 left. Advise on initial contact, you have information Oscar.
Oh, I scratched on my ATIS surface. We have that now. Let me just go ahead and turn that off.
23020. Wind 170 at 16. Gusts 2.
Okay, so we have a choice of two runways at the moment here in Seattle. 16 right and 16 left are both available for departure. Let's see what that means for me. I think 16 left is suitable just because it's a longer runway that will probably use for a long haul, better performance for us as well. 16 right to me seems like it'll be primarily for landing. Also taking a look at the ATIS here, we can see that there's a decent gust, 17016 gusting 26. I know it's a headwind gust, but we'll consider well, it's a decent amount of gust, right? Like, let's take a look. 26, 16. So we'll take some additional flaps. So whatever the optimum spits out, we'll take a little bit more, and we'll also take full thrust. We won't take any derates or assume temperature methods for today's flight. So let's go ahead and set things up based on 16 left for departure. Oh, sorry guys, my mouse had this weird thing going on. 16 left for departure. According to the flight plan, we were meant to be flying, let's see what departure we were meant to be flying. Bangor 9 with a Pangle transition. Bangor 9 with a Pangle transition. All right, let's take a look. Bangor 9, Pangle transition. Let's insert that and insert the temp. Nice. What else is there left to do? Departure, nav aids. All right, let's see what nav aids are available in and around the Seattle area. I'll use the approach charts. I quite like these. So the Seattle VOR is available, C. And for our departure that we talked about, the Bangor 9, maybe it's something else. Yeah, so we can take Seattle and the Penco VOR, Charlie Victor Victor and C. Those two seem to be appropriate. C is available already. And here we can go ahead and set Charlie Victor Victor. All right, two VORs. Oh, well, that's technically just a DME. Performance. I can tell you we're going to go Toga, anti-ice, 2 degrees per 1,000 using 1500. Yeah, anti-ice is going to be engine only. Packs will be on, and we'll do some additional flaps. And we'll come back to all of these shortly after. Let's see if there's not much else. 29er, 69er. Let me go ahead and change that for our colleague as well. 29er, 69er. Fuel pumps can go on. External tube, beacon, nav, logo, ice indicator will go dim. It's not too bad at the moment. Seatbelts can go off. No smoking definitely on. We'll ask them not to use their phones at the moment because I believe we still haven't refueled. So good. Let's go ahead and do that. The way I like to do it is just import from SimBrief. Okay. Doesn't seem to have liked doing that. So let's see what SimBrief had told us to take today. We worked out a plan that was 93079. We're going to take 931 for our flight. 93100. Okay, set the fuel with instant refuel. instant refuel. Okay, not really sure why we're not getting it. I'm pretty sure it's some sort of third-party GSX thing going on. GPS jamming not required today. External printer OIS aircraft. I know the GSX is somewhere here. Oh, that's nice. There's put everything. Sound cabin options. Noise cancelling headphones, definitely. Throttle calibration. Okay, GPS jamming, external printer equipment. Huh. I could swear that there was an option for GSX. Maybe it's here, ground. Okay, well, note to self. Let's not depart with the right amount of fuel, without the right fuel being there. That should be covered by our checklist. But again, I'm not an Airbus. Well, I don't know much about Airbus, so we might get that wrong. Okay, fuel, those pumps are on. We'll leave the seatbelt signs off until we know. Constraints, let's get these numbers in. Traffic, terrain, all of that. Before we set the FCU, let's take a look. Let's see if we can find any stop altitude or top altitude for the departure. As far as I can see, the top altitude will be assigned by ATC. Let's see if there's a bottom altitude. Renbear, we're required to be at least 3,000 or above. I think that's a safe altitude set, 3,000. So 3,000 is set on the FCU for, and you can double check 3,000. This needs 2969er as well, which worked out to how many hectos? 1006 hectopascals. Let's go ahead and set that up here. There, does this change it? Nope. Okay. 1006 hectopascal set. Fuel and load, we'll discuss that later, part of it. But we have some of the numbers here already. Taxi fuel is going to be 600 kilos, which was already set, to be fair. Clear. The minimum fuel at destination there is 7 tons, but let's just wait until the aircraft comes up with a number, and then we'll just cross-reference, make sure all of that's right. All right, parking brake is set, and let's do the first of our checklists. Where's the checklist menu? It says CL somewhere down here, maybe. No. Okay, I think I might have forgotten how to do checklists on this aircraft. Ah, checklist menu, there we go. Cockpit preparation checklist. So the gear prints and covers are removed, the fuel quantity is not there. That's done. Okay, so we still have the fuel quantity set before we can actually do the cockpit preparation checklist. In the meantime, why don't we go ahead and get an ATC clearance from BeyondATC. It's going to be 1.0. And let's see if we can't do that over TCL here. We are gate Sierra 11. And we received ATIS Oscar. Hopefully that comes back soon. And in the meantime, we can get these guys to zoom into a airport map situation. Okay, by the looks of it, the boarding is completed. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's just request ATC clearance by voice.
Dynasty 2-1 Heavy on our way to Taoyuan. Dynasty 2-1 Heavy, Seattle clearance. Cleared to Taoyuan. Bangor 9er departure. Pangle transition then is filed. Climb via 6. Expect maintain 3000. Departure frequency 123.9er. Squawk 5654. Cleared to Taoyuan. Bangor 9er departure. Pangle transition then is filed. Climb via 6. Expect maintain 3000. Departure frequency 123.9er. Squawk 5654. Dynasty 2-1 Heavy. Dynasty 2-1 Heavy, reback correct. Contact ground 121.7 when ready for pushback or engine start. Will contact ground 121.7 when ready for pushback or engine start. Dynasty 2-1 Heavy, thanks.
So we did get it at the end. Maybe patience would have paid off. Got a PDC as well. That's accepted. So let me get that right. Bangor 9 transition with the Bangor 9 departure with a Pangle transition. Hasn't mentioned the departure runway. Initial climb is going to be 3,000 feet. Squawk 5654 set, and it was a departure frequency as well that was given. Fuel is set to 90.3. Let's go ahead and finish the rest of the checklist. I've also started the APU while we wait. Fuel quantity is done, and because the fueling is done, we can go ahead and get the seatbelt mats on as well. All right. I think it might be wise to also get the charts out here. Here we're going to be using, what do you call it, Lido charts. So these ones I am familiar with, but we are going to brief based on the regular charts that you'll be able to see. There'll be a little bit of a discrepancy between the two, but it shouldn't be crazy. All right, so let me do a departure brief, and we can take a look at the iPad for it, featuring, as you can see, it's almost 4 a.m. in the morning. Departure brief from Seattle. We're parked at Sierra 12 Threats. Oh, ATC message. Clearance confirmed. Okay, I've closed the ATC message. Good. So departure is going to be out of stand Sierra 12, which is at the south satellite. We'll taxi northbound on Bravo, and we'll expect 16 left to center. All of them come out of Charlie or Delta. We'll do performance from Delta just because it seems to make more sense for 16 left and center. Both are intersections, and we just lose a few meters. We're gonna try use additional flaps and go full toga thrust to deal with the gusty conditions. We'll also have to maybe do a little bit of de-ice. I'm not sure where it's done in Seattle, but if we can do it here, we'll do it here with the engines off. Maybe it's written down here somewhere. Airport info, continue takeoff. Nope. Also doesn't tell me a runway distance remaining. So, okay, that's all right. Parking gates and ramp info. Trying to see if there's something interesting here, but as far as I see, no. So I think we'll de-ice here on the ramp and then we'll get going. Or maybe there's a de-ice area here. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think so. So we'll de-ice and we'll get going. I'm not going to anti-ice. I know the rain is falling at 6 degrees, which is not too bad, and we took up fresh fuel, so we're not expecting any form of icing to form. Nevertheless, because it's icing conditions, we're going to taxi with the engine anti-ice on. And I think that's it. That's it for the brief. We're going to go ahead and do our performance now. Excuse me a bit. While we wait, the APU is now running. We can go ahead and disconnect the ground power. I've turned the probe and window heat on as well. That's just in case there's any ice that's wanting to form. You can disconnect the air conditioning unit and the ground power unit. The APU is running and will also provide APU bleed. So it seems that SimBrief the app itself is slightly slow on my device. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do that on my. I'm going to go ahead and do that on the SimBrief webpage, which you're not going to be able to see. And while all of that's going on, we might also be smart enough to consider switching to an Airbus module. It seems that the web page is a bit slow, so server took too long to respond. Okay. So yeah, I think that seems to be what the problem is. Tell you what, let's use the takeoff performance calculator from here. Let's sync that. Sync FMC. 16 left. Sync the weather. Select a wet runway. Config optimum. Okay, air condition on thrust. Toga. And we'll compute with this. 4446, engine out, acceleration, flaps 2. And accelerate stop distance, takeoff distance available, takeoff run available, entry angle. Okay, you know what? Doesn't seem too bad to me. Let's send this to FMS. Everything seems to be. Well, we need to enter the loads and stuff first, don't we? So let's go ahead and enter the loads first. Zero fuel weight ended up being. Oh, I don't actually know what the zero fuel weight is, so I guess we're gonna have to go to the received messages and find out. ATC COM, message record, all messages. Oh gosh. There we go. Preliminary load sheet, zero fuel weight 173.696. 17. Okay, I guess we can't do that from that end. Maybe this can go here instead. Message record. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to return to. 696. 696 to me sounds like 7. Oopsie. 173.7. That sounds about right. 93.1 tons of fuel here. And the zero fuel weight CG was 30.2. 324 bed. So that work. worked out to minimum fuel at 3.9 tons, which is not what we had, was it? We had a different number. I'm going back to SimBrief to take a look. So the number we had for arrival of minimum fuel was 7 tons, because the alternate would take 4.6 tons to get to. The route reserve that we worked out was 2.3 tons. Oh no, sorry, that's a contingency. Was 4 tons. It's a little bit more conservative, so let's use the higher number. Final reserve was 2.3 that we worked out. It's 2.2 here. Let's use the 2.3 because that's going to end up with a higher number. So at the end it says we need to get there with 6.8 versus 6.9 calculated here. I'm happy to go with this number. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and set 7 here for my own alerts. Good. All of that's good. And we're going to go back to takeoff performance. The departure takeoff weight. Let's see. Where is that? Okay, 266.8 is what was departed with. We are currently at 266.8. Yep, so all of that to me sounds okay. We can confirm our takeoff speeds. Thrust reduction. Let's reduce the thrust a little bit earlier. The airfield here in Seattle is at 430 feet, so 800 is going to make it, let's make it 1230. Yep, so that's where it's going to be. And we'll accelerate at 800, 800. Yeah, let's do both. Or 800, 3000. Yeah, let's actually 1, 2, 3, 0 as well. Good. Both the acceleration and the thrust reduction is going to happen at 800 feet. Open the doors at the back and I think we're ready to go. Folks, I'm just going to leave you very quickly with your thoughts just so I can change from the Boeing setting to an Airbus, which in all honesty I should have done before the stream. It seems like something very silly to overlook. But alas, we have. Let's get this rigid because everyone tells me I'm very violent pilot. I need to set these up so that they don't necessarily fall. There we go. That's the one. And those are, come on. So I've got quite a lot of these Trustmaster flying desk clamps, and somehow I always feel like I need more. Or a better desk. I feel like somehow the workaround on this desk, although it is good, a decent desk for its purpose, I think it might be slightly outdated now, and I would benefit from a new desk. But the very thought of having to reorganize everything is just a headache. That being said, if you were to give this project to my wife, she would be the first one to jump enjoy. So we're just give me a couple seconds. Gonna reset everything to an Airbus standard. All right, there you go. Give myself a nice wide working space here. And I'm gonna disappear for a second. Well, nice of you guys to join me. Gosh. I think the only way I'm going to describe this stream is both chaotic, entertaining, and somehow oddly relatable. I would like those kind of reviews. If so, if anybody's watching, that would be the review you need to leave. Sorry, I just need to work on some of the cables here, so it's a little bit neater and not tangling with my rudders and my feet. Okay, information pop not occurring 2969er. All right, I'm back. So folks, we're gonna go into VR soonish. The way we're gonna do that is we're gonna get everything disconnected first, and we'll do the checklist. During the pushback, we'll head into VR mode. I think that's the best way to get all of this done. All right. Let's arm all the doors. How do I do that? Let's get GSX. Prepare us for pushback and departure. Yes, we're gonna de-ice. Okay, the aircraft's gonna get de-iced. So for the purpose of de-icing, let's get all the bleed sources all out. And the reason why we remove all the bleed sources is so that the air doesn't, so the air mixed with the de-icing fluid doesn't get ingested into the packs and then into the cabins. So that's why we do that. Yes, so we're gonna do just the de-icing, type 1, 50% is good. But I like de-icing. Well, I like watching de-icing. I don't particularly enjoy being involved in it because it takes just way too long. As we get de-iced, I'm just going to take a quick look at Twitch and YouTube to see what's going on. I got a "What's up, buddy?" So I'm just going to reply to you now. Winnie Real. Hello, buddy. Seems to have been a message from a while ago. I'm not entirely good at how might I call it? I'm not doing a very good job of being active on the streams, which is there's a lot going on during the preparation. It gets a little bit much to be on top of the situation. So I do apologize. It's not you, it's me. So I'm going to tell you some stuff that BeyondATC does. It tells me to hold for no reason very often. If it starts telling me to do things like that, I'm going to ignore it, especially if it just doesn't make sense for the scenario. I think it's better for you and for me, if everybody involved, that we just get on with it. All right, so the de-icing is going on, but I do believe that they, well, actually, we're still going to have to wait until they are connected. And once they're connected, we're going to, what do you say? We are going to get the anti-collision light on, finish the checklist, and then request for push and start. It's actually one of the parts of the world that I would like to visit. The Washington State area. I just think it's quite. It's nice, isn't it? Kind of cold, gray. I know it doesn't like everybody's idea of. I live in the desert, so for me, this is incredible. I could do it. I mean, I wouldn't say I could live there, but maybe I could spend a couple of weeks driving around, enjoying the nature. All right, by the looks of it, the de-icing and anti-icing treatment is completed. All right, so de-icing is completed. We're going to go ahead and start a timer for 1 minute. As you can see, I'm using DLSS, and the number problems still haven't been sorted out. So excuse me very quickly. I'm just going to have to go to settings. I don't like the ghosting rolling numbers, so we're going to go back to TAA, which is my usual level of anti-aliasing. There we go. Much nicer, much crispier. Yeah, also the new DLSS didn't work out, but then again, this TAA is fairly smooth for me, so no complaints there. I'm not sure why they're not connecting yet to the pushback, but I'm ready when they are. Okay, hello, I am ready as well. So since she said she's ready, let's go ahead get the charts ready here, and I'll do the rest of the items shortly. It's been a minute, so we can now use the APU bleed again. We'll leave the bleeds on until the engines have been running also for a minute, so any de-icing fluid that's pulled into the engine will get cleared away, and then we'll use the bleed for anti-icing. Let's request for ATC clearance while we, for pushback clearance. Oopsie. All right, the gear is being locked facing north, which is a nose left turn. Just before we do that, I'm gonna finish the full start checklist. Parking brake is set. Takeoff speeds and thrust both have been confirmed. We're going full with flaps 2 and full with flaps 2. All of the speeds are in 30.8. We're happy. Slides are armed. Yeah, we saw that earlier. Beacon is on. The nose wheel steering disconnected memo is on. So the full start checklist is also complete. Parking brakes released. All right, folks, so this is the part where I'm going to jump out and switch to VR as well very quickly. So please excuse me. I will be right with you. In fact, can we do that right now? Hold on a sec. Yes, actually we can. Let's go ahead and switch completely to VR.
Alaska 935, continue taxi. Continue taxi, Alaska 935. Alaska 634C, Seattle ground, pushback approved, face west.
All right, folks, took a little bit longer than I anticipated to switch over. Maybe that's something I can work on for the next time. The reason that it took this long was because I couldn't find the soft faceplate that's supposed to keep my face nice and cozy. Here we are now somewhere in the avionics. Let me just go ahead and hit that up for us. All right. Let's go ahead and start number 1 engine.
Please set parking brakes.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face west, Alaska 634.
Well, I can tell you already that my performance is absolutely tanking at this airport in VR. To be fair, I haven't used VR in a while, and maybe with BeyondATC it is a bit much, but hopefully it's not too distressing or uncomfortable for you guys to watch.
Unlocking gear.
I figure as long as I keep my head and my movements nice and slow, everything will work out just fine. There's a lot of movement now in the headsets. I'm just getting my eye point correct.
Left is clear, right is clear.
Alright, we have 1 engine running. Let's get the timer started for that one. And let's go ahead and start the next one. Engine number 2. I'm convinced one of these days my GPU is going to catch fire. We're on an RTX 3090, and she's been in the computer for about... Well, I actually don't know how long she's been in the computer. Maybe about 2-3 years. I think my BeyondATC might be stuck. Okay, I might be asking too much of her, so what I'm gonna do is, whoopsie. I have something I need to do anyway in the settings page, so we're gonna go ahead and go there very quickly. Under settings, and graphics, we are gonna render the scaling at maybe 90%. I think it's gonna help quite a bit more. And as for controls, we are missing the settings for this one. It keeps, for whatever reason, it keeps going back to a default setting. So that's good. With 90, it's a lot nicer, a lot better. No, don't need that, don't need this. And we can request a taxi. Seattle Ground Dynasty 2-1 heavy request taxi. Let's see what we get. I think she just ignored me. Which is good because we have 2 minutes. Both engines are started. Let's go ahead and get the bleeds on. You see, I haven't finished my flow, and here I am, excited to go. Engine anti-ice can go on. We don't need that anymore. We're gonna go ahead and get the auto brakes on. Spoilers need to be armed. There we go. Start sequence is finished. And we said we're gonna use auto brakes level 2 for departure. That is set as well. While that goes in, I'm just gonna go ahead and take a look at the window here for BeyondATC to see why our request taxi runway.
Dynasty 2-1 Heavy, request taxi.
Okay, I seem to have broken BeyondATC again somehow.
Dynasty 2-1 Heavy, runway 16 left, taxi via Bravo, Charlie.
Okay, breezy.
Runway 16 left, via Bravo, Charlie. Dynasty 2-1 Heavy.
So I'd gone to the local to do the calculations locally, but I'm gonna send it back to doing things premium. That way we can just save some resources on my computer instead. So we've been cleared to taxi. Bravo and Charlie has briefed. The parking brake is released. Let's get this journey started. There we go. Before we test the takeoff config, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the after start checklist. We haven't finished the item for the after start checklist. So flight controls all the way to the left, they work successfully. All the way to the right now. Also good. Let's have them go down.
Virgin 106 Heavy.
And let's have it go up.
Approved. Face west.
Rudders all the way left. Rudders all the way right. That's great. Why are you not moving?
Approved. Face west. Virgin 106 Heavy.
There she goes. Finally we've got her rolling. Needed quite a bit of breakaway thrust there. Take off. Alrighty. Alright, let's do the after start checklist while we taxi. Anti-ice, engine anti-ice is on. Flight controls have been checked. Ground clearance had been received. Checklist complete. 30.8 THS. That was set. Oh, now we're accelerating pretty quickly. Update to takeoff brief? No. Technically this isn't Bravo, is it? Bravo is a little bit there.
Horizon Air 2205. Cross runway 16 left at Quebec. Continue taxi via Quebec Bravo.
I'm not sure I completely understand the situation with RAM control in the US and all that. But I believe everything inside those yellow lines are not controlled. So you guys can get pushed and pulled as you wish, which is quite strange to me. Well, it's BeyondATC doing something strange again. I can't hear BeyondATC, but I can hear the other models. So let's see.
Alaska 634, request taxi. Alaska 634.
This is a premium voice sample, Scottish Mail, Speedbird 829er, runway 27 right, taxi via Alpha, link 12, Bravo 3, Charlie.
Alright, cool. So turns out the test is working. In my personal opinion, you see that? She's not actually doing premium. Maybe if I just go to the basic voice pack, that might work.
Alaska 935, contact Seattle Tower 119.9er. Over to Tower 119.9er, Alaska 935.
Okay, I'm not entirely sure, hey. Sometimes it seems to be working, sometimes it doesn't. To me, I feel like I'm missing the controller's instructions, but let's see. Luckily we got Stephanie. And she's going to be a wonderful first officer in today's flight to Taipei. In all honesty, I am no longer seeing the need for anti-ice
296 gate Delta 2 taxi.
at the moment.
Tango, Quebec. Hold short runway 16 left.
So if you followed the stream earlier today, we also did a flight between
Taxi to gate Delta 2 via November Tango, Quebec.
Ontario
Runway 16 left.
and
296.
El Paso on the A300. So immediately, I don't know, I mean, maybe if someone did watch the stream, or if you're watching this later on, you can tell that obviously I'm a lot more comfortable on modern airliners. There's a certain flow to it, there's a certain, the buttons are where you expect to find them, so I think that's just testament to how much aviation has improved over the years. Like, it's quite simple to essentially jump in between an Airbus 350 and a 737 and still kind of know exactly more or less what you're doing, Obviously each airplane has its own nuances. I saw a video about the Airbus A350-900 requiring a special procedure for gusty conditions, which I was not aware of. And I would never have been had I not seen that video, but it's those little nuances that distinguish the airplanes these days. But in terms of just jumping in and flying one or the other, everything is where it needs to be. You just have to sort of
Delta 360.
maybe understand a little bit of the philosophy behind the aircraft, and it should be fine. But that's all normal operations, isn't it? I'm sure if things go south, we won't have the same luxury of saying, oh, it's all the same anyway.
Runway 16 left via Bravo Charlie Delta 360.
That's plenty close enough. Parking brake set.
Dynasty 2-1 heavy. Contact Seattle Tower 119.9er.
Alright, I think she's struggling a little bit to do the readbacks and stuff.
Over to tower 119.9er, Dynasty 2-1 heavy.
Quite slow.
Dynasty 2-1 heavy, ready for departure. Runway 16 left.
Okay, I'm ready to go. Yeah, it's quite slow. Let's see. Maybe it's just texting on my computer. Let's see. Let's do a taxi checklist while we get there. Flap setting config 2. Both of us need to say it, and I've said it config 2 twice. Radar on. Yep, that's the weather radar. So the checklist is complete. Yeah, BeyondATC is a bit slow. I think it's just generating too much traffic for it to do on its own. So let me just go ahead and see if there's nothing I can't.
Dynasty 2-1 heavy, number 2 for departure. Hold short of 16 left.
Roger, hold short of 16 left for traffic. Dynasty 2-1 heavy.
Dynasty 2-1 heavy, runway 16 left, line up and wait.
Okay, so what I did was change the setting to real world traffic settings, which hopefully will give me a chance to go. Parking brake released. Glad I used the anti-ice because I can see a little bit of raindrops now following. Let's do the lineup. Cabin crew prepare for departure. Cabins advised. Let's go to takeoff here, and it's not needed. Let's go ahead with the logo light so people know that we're on our way to Taiwan. A lineup checklist. Cabin secured and signal. Takeoff runway. Approaching runway 16 left by both of us. Packs 1 and 2, they remain on. The bleeds are on after the anti-icing treatment. 16 left. So checklist is complete. Just doing a little bit of oversteering here. And let's try to use as much runway as Seattle can afford us. Okay, there we go.
Dynasty 2, 1 heavy, Seattle Tower, wind 160 at 14, gust 23. Arn up to Renbei, runway 16 left, cleared for takeoff.
Rebel clip
Runway
takeoff.
16 left, air nav to Renbei, cleared for takeoff. Dynasty 2-1 heavy.
Alright, let's bring her to her stop. I'm giving her some power just to get any ice buildup gone, so let's count 5 seconds down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. Mantoga SRS, runway auto thrust, blue. Let's restart the timer.
V11.
Hands off. Rotate. Get it up to 15 degrees, hold it, positive rate. Is it? Yep, it is positive rate. Where's the gear? Gear is going up. Thrust lever climb. Thrust derated climb, climb. I don't want to do an auto derated climb. Let's go for full climb thrust, please. The reason I don't want to do that is we're clearly in an area with weather, and it's just counterintuitive to want to stay in the weather for longer. So thrust climb, climb nav.
Dynasty 2-1 heavy, contact Seattle departure, have a good one.
Flaps on. Our speed is 226.
Seattle departure, Dynasty 2-1 heavy.
Flaps up.
Seattle departure, Dynasty 2-1
Okay,
heavy.
not really sure what happened there, but wow, that scared me a little bit. Right, let's hold her at about 5% nose up, so she'll climb 5 degrees. Sorry, she'll climb slowly while accelerating. What's going on? Okay, we're clear to 17,000.
Climb maintain 17,000, Dynasty 2-1 heavy.
17,000 set, and there's no more point flying away, so let's go ahead and set 230 knots. That's close enough to up speed to achieve what I want to achieve. I'm not going to mess around. Actually, you know what? We've got plenty of additional capacity. Let's go ahead and do a bit of the after takeoff stuff. This can be on auto. And that's fine. Gear, flaps. Let's get the speed brakes in from the arm position. Engine 1 and 2 anti-ice remains on. All right, looks like things are going well. So I can tell you a little bit more about the flight planning that we've done. So this route requires ETOPS, which we have designated a few airports. Essentially, we've chosen Anchorage, and the next suitable airport was New Chitose Airport in Sapporo, Japan. So it's quite a long way without having any alternate airports. Due to political reasons, we opted not to select any Russian airfields. And we're not on VETSIM, so I can't do that without being cancelled. So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I'm happy to use Russia if none of the other airfields were available, but the plan was capable, not even ETOPS 370, I think we used ETOPS 240, and we were capable of flying this route legally. The only sort of question mark I might have had, okay, I think we're pointing roughly the right ways, westbound, speed window closed. The only sort of the only question I might have had was with regards to the minimums at New Chitose Airport, Sapporo, when we get there, if we need to get there and divert. The weather is just barely at Cat 1, for which I need to be able to go one step higher. But the airfield is capable of Cat 2 approaches, which means I only need to be compliant with Cat 1 to be able to use Cat 1 or better to be able to use it. Actually, it was even Cat 3. So Cat 3, Cat 2, Cat 1. So we need to go 2 approach steps higher to be able to file it as an alternate. So I think that should work out. If it doesn't, and I've become aware of it as we do our research throughout the flight, then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and redispatch the flight accordingly, but in a way that's going to be less penalizing for the fuel, so that we're not going to have to find a way to refuel midair. It's 10,000 feet. I'll get the landing lights out, and we can keep the engine, and then can now turn off the anti-ice and wait for it to decide if there is any ice or not. So also go ahead and turn the logo lights off, or to auto. And if I'm not mistaken, there's no off the takeoff checklist here on these aircraft now. We're just gonna go have fun. So yeah, that's something I did for New Chitose and for ETOPS itself. Another thing I did was we took a look at the Pacific organized track system. So we know about the North Atlantic tracks, but did you or were you aware that it also existed for the Atlantic? And it's decided usually between Fukuoka and Oakland Oceanic, and it changes every day. It takes into account the wind, the weather, all that sort of stuff. So what's interesting is, I don't know, they use letters and numbers. I don't know which is eastbound, which is westbound, but if I'm not mistaken, it's letters westbound and numbers eastbound. I always find this a bit confusing because I think, okay, I'm going to Japan, which is in the east, but not from America. From America, you got to keep flying west until you get to Japan, which is in the east, and it's always a little bit trippy when it comes to flight planning, that I need to wrap my head around this concept. I mean, I know the world is round, but I've never had to actually experience it, and I guess I'm not quite ready for it. So 10,000 feet, I'll leave the seatbelts on as we go through this, but we can let the people smoke, and we can let them use their mobile phones, obviously, above 10K. We just got to be careful about the whole 5G thing that's going on in the US. I don't think it affects the rest of the world. It seems to be a solely American problem. Let's see. So on a Boeing 737, in conditions like this, where the total air temperature is 3 degrees Celsius, in visible moisture, we would turn on the engine anti-ice, as a just in case, in case we pick up ice. This plane, along with a lot of the other Airbuses, is a little bit smarter, so it kind of knows, I'm not picking up any ice, so there's no need to give away bleed air to anti-ice an aircraft that doesn't need to be anti-iced at this time. I think I much prefer the real world schedules just because it's more, at least for me, it's a little bit more.
Dynasty 2-1 Heavy, contact Seattle Center 128.5.
There's less traffic, but it's still kind of fun. Nice views.
Contact Seattle Center 128.5, Dynasty 2-1 Heavy. Have a good one.
I was wondering if we could see something on that side.
Seattle Center, Dynasty 2-1 Heavy. Crossing 1 for 14,800 for 17 17,000.
We'll get out of the cloud layer and then we go back to derated climb.
Dynasty 2-1 Heavy, Seattle Center. Climb, maintain flight level 3 for 0.
Climb, maintain flight level 3 for 0, Dynasty 2-1 Heavy.
340. Flight level 340 set. These planes are just so easy to hand fly, like it's not even, just so easy. So nice. You can actually focus on talking about stuff, doing other things, let me get the brightness up.
Runway 14 right, November 786 Sierra Alpha.
There we go, nice and bright. Wow. Wow, that's a nice view now.
Bird 49 Heavy, Seattle Center. Expect radar vectors. ILS runway 16 left.
Okay, this is America, that's the transition altitude. Let's go ahead and set standard. Make sure my colleague sets it as well. And we'll set this here on the standby too. Well, it's 4:40 a.m. here. And I've got maybe 20 minutes to get back into bed with the missus before I am dead man tomorrow. So is there an altitude that I need to stop manually flying? RVSM, at the start of RVSM, you'll need the autopilot on because the autopilot just does altitude capability a lot better than you, which is quite important. You can go ahead and take a look at Lido route manuals. I'll tell you much the same. You can also take a look at your MEL. It's a section called SDR. It's available on Boeings, so it should be available on whatever type you fly. If it can get to RVSM. SDR is a summary of dispatch requirements, so you'll see that you can't fly without the autopilot in ETOPS. You also need to have some sort of, in RVSM. You also need to have some form of altitude altitude alerting, so to know when you are leaving or approaching. Reaching approaching altitude, and you need to have the function specifically that you need for your autopilot is the altitude hold function. Things like VNAV are just additional functions of altitude hold, but the basic ones are heading, altitude hold, and some form of speed.
Flight level.
All right,
220,
autopilot's engaged.
Flight level 340, direct Pangle.
Dynasty 2-1 Heavy Seattle Center.
Oh, we're connected to KUSA. Okay, so I guess we're covered. We've been flying for 14 minutes. I think it's a good time to let our passengers stretch. They've been in the seat for at least half an hour, maybe even longer. Super beautiful sunset to enjoy. I can talk to you a little bit about the packhots as we were discussing earlier. And so the Pacific organized track system done by both Fukuoka and Oakland Oceanic, you know, I told you it changes. It changes every day. What else can I tell you about it? I told you about numbers and the digits and something interesting. Oh yeah, we're not using them today. We are not using it for our flight because we are outside the time of the packhots applicability. So we're essentially doing a free route airspace, which is why we have the interesting route that we do. Why am I unable to show you something? World map during the day, maybe? I like it when this is filled, but unfortunately there's nothing at the moment. I believe we are approaching Canadian airspace now, at Pangle maybe. Wow, this place is absolutely cavernous. Space to keep your bag separately. Wow.
Empire Air 7657
Wow.
Seattle Center, expect jawbone 7, runway 16 right.
Absolutely gorgeous. That plug looks like it's smiling at us.
Expect jawbone 7, runway 16 right, Empire Air 7657.
Very, very cool. I don't think these windows can be opened. If I'm not mistaken, emergency egress on the A350 is out through the roof up there. And then you kind of slide down the roof, which I find absolutely terrifying because it's quite a tall airplane. Keeps you on your toes, though. You need to work on your upper body strength the whole time. Let me go back to the derated climb before I get an email from the company asking why I have not done so. Very nice. She's an auto derate going up to 340, slightly above optimum, but we'll make it work. Alright folks, I am gonna go back out of VR and I'll set you guys up for I'll set us up for a quick chat using I guess the normal game modes, and we'll say goodbye because the stream is about to end. And we'll do more of the same on arrival about 12 hours later into Taipei. So just a moment of your time, please, while I sort this out. I hope you found the VR nice. Took a bit of time to get things sorted, but I'm overall quite pleased that I finally managed to try it. So let's just leave the VR mode.
Dynasty 2-1 Heavy, contact Vancouver Center 125.905. Have a good one.
Contact Vancouver Center 125.905. Dynasty 2-1 Heavy. Vancouver Center, Dynasty 2-1 Heavy, crossing flight level 29er for flight level 340.
Dynasty 2-1 Heavy, Vancouver Center, radar contact. WestJet 120, contact Vancouver Center 135.0.
All right, so it's gotta feel like waking up when you're out of the VR mode. You probably just noticed that I put my glasses back on. I've got these lenses in my VR headsets from VR Rock. So I just send them over my prescription, and they make the glasses, sorry, the lenses that go into it. So I replace the lenses that come with, sorry, they go on top of the lenses that are already on Pimax, which is why I need slightly thicker sort of faceplate. But all things considered, it worked out pretty well. Let me see if I can maybe show you the packouts. Oh shit. I'm just realizing I have missed on... Huh. I have missed a massive raid. Oh good lord. What's going on? Well... Oh, that's hilarious. Why the fuck am I even here on the stream? Oh my god. Right off, let's can handle this motion anymore. Sorry guys. Oh hey. I just came back to check in before I went to bed and he's here. Alright guys, so clearly I've missed out on some fun. I apologize. I don't have any of this out on my my VR headsets. I'm just trying something new. And I'm just going back to this chat. I'm not really sure what's going on. Hey, Fly RB. Thanks for watching. And I'm guessing there was quite a lot of head shake. Oh damn. So why? Oh my god, there's a lot. The VR also made me sick watching TBH, I respect it. All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. There is quite a lot of shaking going on. I'm still trying to figure out w- how to set it up. In fact, I was just watching videos on how to get it to work on OBS. Let me turn this on. And I'm not quite sure if I've got the right, um, what do you call it? I don't think I've got the right Zoom or whatever it is. But overall, meh. If I made you sick, I apologize. We are on cruise now, and it's going to be just pancake mode from this point on. That being said, VR was quite fun for me. So yeah. And who was I talking to? Nobody. It was me going on a little bit of a nerd rant because these things show up. Um, these things show up a bit later on YouTube, and I kind of like to watch and see what I can do better. But it's no worries, man. I did not know you guys were around. I did not know anybody was watching, so it was no stress. And I'd love to hear more about what you guys thought. Just so I can um, just so I can maybe work on it a bit later. Glad you liked the stream. It's mostly just me nerding out, and I've got 6 minutes before my wife realizes I'm no longer in bed, and then that's it for my fun times. Can't you have a screen with your chat on? Probably. Since that's something you guys like, I will. Um, can you say hi to the wife? No, you cannot. Um, no, because we we're gonna die. So yeah, so I'm gonna figure out how to get a screen with the chat on. I think that would be quite interesting. I've seen it on a lot of other people. I think I've managed to do it once, um, but again, there was like 2 viewers at best. So yeah, it isn't flight sim over anything. It was let's say I haven't streamed for like a month now, and I just kind of gone off to do a little bit of sim racing, and back to flight sim now because um, I don't know. I just feel like I wanted to nerd out. Um, I shall look at my chat. I need to set up a way that I get notifications either in VR or in my headset when other people are chatting. But then again, it's kind of unfair that I have to keep removing in and out of VR just to chat. Maybe there's like a plugin that I could use. Um, Thanks for following the guys who did. I don't do this enough. I'm not gonna be around tomorrow or day after or the day after that. In fact, I've got a few days at work, and then I got 2 days off where I'll probably end up doing some kind of stream. So if there's something you would like to see or know about airplanes or some kind of airplane that you do like, um, let me know now. Um, and maybe tune in like 4 days, and you'll probably see a video um, about it. Tell the wife Arabi said hi tomorrow. You know what? This is the first time I got rated. This is quite interesting, so I'm definitely going to be telling her. This is nice. Um, it's 5 a.m. here. I'm probably going to wake up at noon, and she's gonna love this. So thanks Hansix for rating. That's fun. His browser you can pin inside your headset. Have a look. It's been a while since I've done a VR stream too. Yeah. So it was absolutely my first time, so I did not know all of this was going on. If I didn't know, I would definitely have been here. This is a lot more interesting. 5 a.m. yes, because I did a stream earlier today, and staying up to 5 a.m. is better for me because I've got a flight tomorrow at midnight, and that's gonna arrive at destination roughly about 8 a.m. my time. So I'm just trying to get um, in the circadian rhythm for this flight. So I'm gonna get to bed, and then I'm gonna try to stay awake as long as possible. Followed by which I'll sleep as much through the day, um, hit the gym real quick, maybe sneak in a quick nap, and then go to work. Um, yeah, because someone's got to be awake for 6 hours. Everyone else is in the back watching their movies, cuddled up in blankets, and I'm just there looking at my instruments for 6 hours. So yeah, I'm not sure what a grafter is, but cheers to the UK. You're about 4, maybe 3 hours ahead of me. So behind me. So yeah, awesome, guys. But what I'm more interested in knowing is how'd you get here, and also what can I do for next time? Like, what would you guys like to see? Obviously, this is nerdy and boring, but I mean, if you're into it, I can do a little bit more, or maybe there's something more fun. I was thinking of doing maybe some air racing, but probably not with the VR headset. That's me. I was forced by a bald man. Yeah, sounds like a bald man with good taste. Good on the bald man. Cheers to the bald man. This was a very chaotic stream. I mean, I'm rather embarrassed now. That I was now like diving in, changing my settings. Apologize. Please read chat. Yeah, I definitely need to do this more often. So I think I'm gonna go pancake mode for a bit longer. Um, and then you know, let's see. I was just curious to try the VR. It was a good laugh. Yeah. Um, yeah. I don't actually know what's going on. So what's gonna happen is after all of this is done, I'm gonna go back onto YouTube and see how it went. I've got a few videos up there as well, and all of them are sort of like work in progress. And you can see how my streams have been getting okay, and then terrible, and then okayish. So yeah, we on our way. And are you guys going to be around for the arrival in Taipei? Because this flight's going to be um, a while. Let's see. So we're expecting Taipei at 13 UTC, so around 1 p.m. For the guy in the UK, and probably in the morning for our colleague from the United States. And for me, that's going to be, oh, even do that. Yeah, 5 p.m. Yeah, that's not bad. So that's roughly around when I'll be trying to come back from the gym, about an hour before, and then we'll be just doing the arrival. It's going to be a lot more chill, I think. If you think the VR was all over the place, then maybe we're not going to do the VR for the arrival. And it's probably going to be a nighttime landing, so it's not that great. I think Taiwan looks a lot nicer during the day, unless we fly over Taipei city itself, in which case you get to see the 101, which is quite a nice skyscraper. Anyway, I'm on a rumble, and I've got to now go and sneak into bed so that I'm not caught. I'll leave you guys with a a view of our airplane here. This is the China Airlines Airbus A350-900. Fun fact, they got the A350-1000s on order as well, so they'll be coming up shortly. If you like the screen, you should know that this is not actually what the screen looks like. I've got, let me see. Um, well, this is kind of like zoomed in because I've got like a screen about yay big. I don't know how big that is. Yeah, it's like a wide curved screen. So I'm trying to get that just like compressed into the place that most people watch in. So it's definitely a lot more visually appealing from where I'm seeing it. I would show you, but the cable management in the back is terrible. I've got an espresso cup laying around, so yeah. So if you think I do know my shit, that's fantastic. And if you're interested in learning more, you know who to follow, who to tag into. Um, the reason I know a lot is because I'm a little bit of an airplane nerd. Have been since I was a kid, and I work with them now, so it all works out for me perfectly. So that's why I kind of know a little bit. There are things I don't know, um, like flying older airplanes and stuff. Please enable donations. I want to send you my bits. I don't know what your bits are, but I I don't think I'm interested in seeing them. Uh, Maybe not great. And if bits is some sort of like Bitcoin, something like this, I don't actually want it. Or Twitch currency, fantastic. Don't really need it. I'm just doing this for fun. And I don't know what you can do with Twitch currency anyway. So I'm just gonna just do this for fun. because flying alone can be boring. So yeah, glad you guys were all here. How many of you are here? 11 of you. Wow, that's fantastic. This is in 12. Oh, that's me included. Um, Fire becounts us too. All right. So what exactly can one do with the Twitch currencies? I'm curious. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and figure that part on my own. So power ups. Okay. Yeah. No. This is basically get a check when you reach $50 or 50 quid. What like Twitch sends you money? That'd be interesting. And if you get $50, nah, nah, I got nothing to do with $50. I need I need a little bit more. I need to fix things around the house, you know. Like that's why I haven't been streaming for a month. There's a lot of renovation going on, and yeah, things need to get fixed. So $50 isn't going to cut it, but I appreciate it. You know, it's fun. I'm just gonna nerd out. Oops, sorry about that. Sorry about that. That's my iPad screen. As you can see, it's only 3% there. $50 is the minimal reach. It's not really a money motivation thing. I'm just gonna try to hide this flight sim hobby from my actual real world airline friends, because they'll just make fun of me. You know, you go to work, come back, and go to work again. It's silly. Um, but here I get to fly planes that I don't actually get to at work and go to and do things at my own pace. So I'm just doing it for shits and giggles, you know, and it's just like with the people I work with, just a rolling conversation about things that happen. That being said, I am curious who earns the most with 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 the bits, and why would you? I mean, maybe it's a strange concept for me because I'm old, but why would one want to spend your hard-earned actual money on Twitch to give it away to people? I mean, if you no, it's not. Uh, it's I'm not said that I don't. It's not that I don't want your bits. It's just that I would like to do a little bit more work before I take away your bits. Yeah, and hopefully, I will be happy with taking the bits away. I'm not really embarrassed about the streams. It's all fun and good. I'm just a bit embarrassed if my friend groups find out. Oh my gosh, these guys. Uh, you know, everyone's got a group chat. It's not really like a funny, like it's half funny, half teasing, and I enjoy it. You know, and these are the guys. But I'm trying to keep this away from them until it blows. And then I'll be taking everyone's bits, and then I'm gonna go to them and say, hey, check this out. But yeah, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that yeah, I mean, Firebee, I need to send you. Let me send you a follow as well. That way, the F1 Race 140. Um, I'm gonna go check out your channel. If you do race, I need some tips on sim racing. I've been trying to get around the Red Bull Ring, and I just can't seem to get any further time. You know, I'm just feel like I'm leaving milliseconds out there on the track. Um, Nerding out. What else can I tell you about the China Airlines 350? There must be something fun here, something we can talk about. No, no, I think it's all covered, and I feel like I'm just repeating myself on a bunch of different streams. Unless you guys want me to talk about ETOPS, which I kind of already covered, like as a quick conversation. Um, I could tell you guys about. Don't make me ask for running tips. Okay. Um, are you guys interested in hearing about oceanic contingency procedures, like things you would do if you were over the ocean in an airliner and you had an emergency? Okay, it looks like we switched over to Vancouver.
And for whatever reason, this map doesn't want to. Oh. So we're over Victoria Island. Anybody from this neck of the woods, from around Victoria? I'm still hallucinating from the VR. You know what? I really need to go back on YouTube and see how bad that was, because I mean, if it is as bad as you guys are saying, I need to figure out a way to either stabilize it or just not do it. Well, I mean, I'm familiar with British things. That's but nevertheless, I'm still gonna go take a look. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure how I can preview things at the same time. I mean, I could put up a third or fourth, I mean, a second or third screen, and then, kind of watch it as it goes along. But I just feel like that's not quite original, is it? So, where in the UK are you guys from? I'm still a little bit confused about the south and the north of the UK, because even though you guys are like, your line for what's north of the UK is really far south. The way I understand it, a lot of people call Manchester the north when it's just like about halfway through the country. Um, but then I guess it's because it's like more than one country, isn't it? It's very complicated. Okay, so between London and Birmingham. So is that somewhere around East Midlands then? Because I think literally Midlands, isn't it? That's not Dan. That's the guy from the In-Betweeners. I forget his name. Gosh, he used to piss me off. Oh man, Simon. No, it's not Simon. Jay. Yes, yeah, Jay from the In-Betweeners. Gosh, he used to piss me off. He was just such a douche, but at the same time, it's just such a funny douche. Who else do I like from the In-Betweeners? For many years, when I first started my aviation career, I would introduce myself to cabin crew as Patrice, and I got that from the French exchange student who was trying to sleep with Simon's mom, or was it Jay's mom? And his name was Patrice. He was always standing around smoking cigarettes. I just thought it was just endlessly cool. So I went by. I would go to women I would work with, and they'd say, "Oh yeah, what's your name?" "Oh, I'm Patrice. Where are you from?" It was always something exotic. I'd go Mauritius. I know I definitely said Madagascar a couple times. Um, and it got funny because the whole thing went full circle. Um, yeah. Do I have Volanta? No. You know what? I've been looking at it. I'm not. It's like a flight tracker thing, isn't it? But I don't really have it. Maybe I'll get it. I don't know what Volanta Premium is, and I've seen a few screenies um, of Volanta, and I think it does, for me at least, what Navigraph does. Yes, you have statistics and all that stuff, but I'm not entirely. Um, you know what? Yeah, it's quality and free. Why not? Let's go give it a shot. Let's go get Volanta now. Smart flight tracker integrates all your flight data. Track yourself, real world schedules, mobile app, time sync. What? So, okay, so I know there's a lot of people in and around Volanta. Like, is it like a network, like Sim? Like, do you see people on your screen? Like, as you know, if I'm in VR today, does a guy in Volanta show up on my screen, or is it just like an app? And then, because he's on a different platform, he doesn't actually show up on my platform. So, okay, Sim version of Flight 24. All right, that's actually quite interesting. There's not a lot of people that I fly around with. There's maybe one or two guys, but one of them is only available on Wednesdays, and the second guy has a kid, so he's gone. He's out of it.
So I just use, I think it was called VetSimMap or VetSky something. So when I'm on the network, I just get a net notification that they're on as well, and then we end up flying together. Um, but it's just those two. I mean, I don't really do a lot of group flights and stuff like that. I feel like my time schedules are just insane for my friends. Like, look, I'm up at 5 a.m. And I'm pretty sure they start the shift somewhere around now as well. And I'm just chilling, you know. In fact, let's see, how long have we been airborne? I know we've been airborne for about 43 minutes, but there's a specific way out here in this airplane that you could monitor something time. Yeah, so 59 minutes block, 43 flight. We've obviously spent some time getting de-iced and anti-iced. Oh, that's something interesting. When you get de-iced with type 1 fluid, you well, you don't really need to record it. Well, you do, but you don't really need to record it. Type 4, um, I don't know if you guys are aware of the differences of the different types of de-icing fluids. Is that something that you'd like me to get into, like nerd out about? I do have a Discord. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. Let me just open up my Discord app here. See if holy shit, there's literally nothing. You know what? I'll find. You know what? Drop your Discord username here, I guess, and I'll find you on Discord once I'm done. I'm using my camera as a webcam. My phone as a webcam, and if I use it, the webcam kind of goes off. So and then we're gonna find. Do you? Oh, great. Let me see if I can open it. Oh, so cool. So you just suggest whatever VATSIM gives you. You know what? I did something similar. What's really cool about the fluids is how they work. So you have four types of fluids, 3 and 4, pretty simple numbers. And I guess what increases bit over them is their viscosity. So type 1 fluid is just basically water and glycol mix that's heated. And the main purpose of a type 1 fluid, and you have different concentrations. 100% is just almost pure de-icing fluid. 75 is 75% de-icing fluid, 25% water, heated water, of course. Yeah, still water. Um, and then you've also got type 2, which is similar, but the viscosity of the anti-icing fluid is different. But type 1 is exclusively de-icer, so it just removes the ice and snow, and it gives you some sort of protection, like a very light film of protection. Whereas type 2 is more of a robust anti-icer. So you can use it to de-ice and also use it as an anti-icer, but the way we use it is de-ice first and then a new application of anti-ice. Type 3 is usually for turboprops, and type 4 is like the most viscous. So you would just use type 1 to clean off your wings first, and while it's got that thin layer of type 1 fluid, you'd apply type 4 on top of it, a little bit thicker. And the way it works is it stays on your wings and it doesn't freeze, and it lets snow and stuff fall on, and it just coats your wing. But when you roll down the runway and when you present your nose to the airstream, essentially what it does is it breaks the viscous surface, and it rolls off your wing in such a way that it just you have a clean wing as you go airborne. So that's basically how the de-icing fluids kind of work. I'm off to bed. Thanks for coming to chat with us. See you soon. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. It was actually a lot more fun, and it was nice to be able to talk about things instead of just sitting here in silence for um, 17 minutes. So yeah, thanks guys. I'll definitely give you guys a follow on. We'll definitely chat on um, Discord, and well, now it wants me to download the app. Fantastic. Oh, it knows me. Yeah, so we're gonna. Sorry, it's like a complete rebuild of a PC. So it's I didn't know a lot of the things are still here. So good. So yeah, I'll definitely talk to you guys on Discord. and we'll do. You do sim racing. I've only just picked it up because I got a little bit tired of flight simming. Especially you go to work and then you come back and then it just felt like you were doing more, like my friend said. So I just wanted something different. I was always into racing. And my sister, her fiance, and my wife are all following Formula lately. So I thought it might be fun to do some form of racing. I don't mind Formula racing, but I've always been a little bit more. I enjoy watching Formula One, but I think I prefer driving GT3 cars a little bit more. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing at the moment. A little bit of sim racing. I'm not that good. Um, in fact, I'll do maybe 3 laps at best, and then I'm spinning out. So that's it. Um, Platforms like to race. I mean, right now I'm just using Assetto Corsa, the not Evo. I have Evo as well, but I'm using Competizione, I think, which is quite nice. Um, I was using Forza Motorsport, which was not that great, to be honest. Literally no grip on the cars. Um, in fact, that's where my tiller went. I used to have a T300, but now I bought this thing as a tiller for 100 and well, it's gonna work out to about $20 US. Le Mans Ultimate, I've seen it. It looks cool. Um, but I mean, I don't know. I think at the moment, Assetto Corsa scratches the itch for me because I'm more along. I'm not actually racing with people at the moment. It's just bots, and I'm just trying to sort of work on my own times. Let's say. So I've got the time attack mode, I think it was called, where you're just racing with your own ghost, and yeah, um, yeah. I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and do a curve because I think Assetto Corsa already is a little bit of a learning. I come from Gran Turismo as a racing game, so that's kind of what I wanted, but it doesn't exist for PC. Um, and then I thought the next closest thing would be Forza Motorsport, but then that wasn't great either. Of course, Competizione, which is like a 50-50, um, and it had a lot of the tracks that I actually wanted to go to, things like Spa, Catalonia, and what was the other one? Red Bull Ring. So yeah, that's primarily why. And I got myself like a racing bucket seat and somewhere um, to attach my steering wheel to and stuff. So it's good, like it's fun, and it's a little bit more of a party thing than flight, right? So if it's downstairs in my living room, so when people come over, I'm like, hey, you guys want to do a couple laps? Yeah, sure. Um, it's not like you get on flights and hey guys, you want to do a an unstable approach. It's not doesn't have the same oomph, let's say. All right, it's close to 5:30. I really should be ending it. Ish, Catastrophe. A lot of things need to get changed. As you can see, I'm working on amateur equipment just until I get enough bits, and then we'll go to professional stuff. In fact, I got something that was supposed to take over for my webcam, but things that I've ordered from Amazon haven't shown up, so um, maybe the next time we'll have a better stream quality. Let's see. And I have absolutely no more USB spots available on my computer. There's 12 USB devices connected to it already, and I don't even know what half of them are. So, whereabouts are you located? I'm in E, so UTC -4, a long way away in the desert, which is why I'm flying out of frigid Seattle. 5:20 a.m. Yes, I did say UAE, the United Arab Emirates. I mean, I don't know if there's quite a lot of people streaming here. I know that the guy um, that I fly with did a couple of streams. Um, yeah, I would definitely like to see more. Well, I don't necessarily need to see more streamers from the UAE. I mean, we get to access an entire community from here anyway, but I would love to see some flight sim content that was a little bit closer to home. I know we've got the iniBuilds, Dubai and Abu Dhabi and Doha, and I can tell you they're all pretty decent, but there are just things about the airport that don't make sense. Like, uh, how can I say, giant buildings on the approach, headquarters is all wrong, and just stuff like that. But I'm sure everybody who's close to a major airport wants something good. The only thing I can say is pretty active here in the UAE is the VETSIM control. I think they do a fantastic job. And I've had a chance to go, I think 2 months ago, to an air traffic control meeting where, pilots and controllers get together and we talk about problems in our region and things that we can solve. So a lot of this are things to do with um, reduced separation between aircraft in Dubai and how they're consistently um, pushing the limit on what we can achieve. So we're doing things like 160 to 4 behind an A380, and sometimes it's a bit dicey. Um, things like rerouting, recovering from fog and rain and stuff like that. In the UAE, it's especially difficult. A little bit of rain and things just go absolutely chaotic. Same thing with fog because it tends to arrive. Fog tends to hit Dubai early in the morning, and that corresponds with either the late night arrivals or the early morning departures, and either way, it's disruption for the next 2 or 3 days. So we were together with the controllers talking about things like this, and I did speak to one of the controllers who actually told me he had watched clips of Dubai ATC on VETSIM handling the amount of traffic that they do, and it's quite cool, Um, but in terms of ATC community in the UAE is quite good, um, on VETSIM at least. That being said, I try not to fly in on VETSIM in and around Dubai, and the reason is there's always a reroute. Yes, I know. Okay, I don't follow the matrix, but the reason I planned the flight correctly using all the airways and making sure that there's no times and stuff. Maybe the route is more scenic. Maybe I just don't want to keep flying over Iran or Saudi. Maybe I want to do something the long way around. But the moment you log in, hey, I have a reroute for you, and I'm like, oh, and I'm just done. Like in Dubai, I just don't bother anymore. Unless there's an event, and I don't mind arriving into Dubai, but departing is a bit of is a bit challenging. Um, I think the next time I'll do a flight to Dubai with the fly-by-wire A380. I quite like that plane. I'm hoping there'll be a few more updates this year. I'm also looking forward to iniBuilds A380 coming up too as well. Yeah, British ATC, sorry, Beyond ATC, pretty good. And that's in to a certain scope. Sometimes I feel like it gets stuck at certain airports. I use it in places where coverage is low. Um, Obviously, I also like the injection of the air traffic because sometimes on VETSIM it can get quite lonely. I mean, it is lonely now, but VETSIM gets even lonelier. Like you see somebody else on the map and you think he's close, and you zoom in and you've got fleeting moments with him, if anything. If you do like the level of depth I go into, I was thinking of doing a flight plan sort of show and tell. In fact, this was supposed to be it. I was going to be discussing the pack cards. We were going to take a look at the NOTAMs and stuff as we go along. But I felt like this flight was already a bit stretched out, and we were already a little bit close on time. So that's primarily why why I didn't do the whole thing. Yeah. So you know what? If you are interested in that, I'm gonna. Well, thank you for letting me know what people are interested in. So let me see. I need to log into my schedule to see what I'm up to. I think I go to Prague tomorrow, and then day after I got something else going on. Oh, yes. Cool. So
don't even remember my login. That's not great. That's the so tomorrow I head up to Prague back on the 10th at 8 a.m. And then I've got the rest of the 10th, 11th, and 12th off. Yeah, so I think that's a good time to maybe do it. So it's going to be Saturday evening, or all of Sunday, or perhaps Monday. I think Saturday evening might be something. It might be a fun time to do it. So I'm thinking I'll set up a flight, or I'll plan the flight, and we can go from 0 all the way up until we finish the flight, and we'll try to get in on a VETSIM event as well, because those can get fun. Let's take a look at what events are going on Saturday. And then I also got to see what my wife is doing, because let's be honest, who's not afraid, a little bit afraid of their wife. So Saturday they've got early morning ops at Frankfurt, which into SSA. So I think it's sub-Saharan Africa. So a few airports there, which is interesting, hey. But so that would kind of work out. Actually, that wouldn't work out. No, not at all. So it's gonna be Saturday evening, ideally. VATSIM Elite Wings. Okay, that's actually that event does get a little bit busy. So you get to test your ultimate piloting skills. Some of the world's most challenging airports, difficult approaches, bustling airspaces. So you'll depart Sultan Hassanuddin International to Patimura. Okay. I've not been to both of those airports. I'm quite interested in doing that. And as such, I am going to go onto the website right away, and I'm going to book my slot for that event, just so we can see what's going on. I've been to one of the Elite Wing events that was in Kaitak a while ago. Pretty nice. Then they got New Year in Jordan, Kolstova 24. No, don't care. Beirut, fun. Along the Danube. Okay, Odessa. Yeah, so I think this is the one I'm more interested in. It's already booked, quite a lot of them. I think I'll book a slot that departs at 13:45 Zulu and arrives at 15:05, which is perfect. Gives me time to get started, say goodbye to you guys, take my dog off for dinner on time. So yeah, booking. Awesome, guys. I agree. I don't know. Call sign. Okay, so I need to figure all that out later. So maybe I'll just put something up now. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to bounce. I think this really is when I have to say goodbye, and it's 5 something already. We're not gonna take any more risks. I'll leave you with a beautiful sunset view and our Airbus A350. If you guys are around tomorrow morning, feel free to join in for the arrival. But most likely I guess you guys are normal and have to go to work and stuff. So thanks for the raid, thanks for the chat, and it's been lovely having you all. And I'll see maybe for Elite Wings, or maybe for the arrival. Thanks for being here. I'll text you guys on Discord and stuff. Cheers. Have a good evening.